Hi, I'm Michael Boyle. I'm our continuous improvement manager here at Smokercraft. Continuous improvement here at Smokercraft is a little bit different than a continuous improvement manager somewhere else. Here, we focus on processes as well as new machinery acquisition and bringing technology into our current processes. Smokercraft is pretty unique. We've been around for 120 years, so a lot of our processes are legacy and depend on tribal knowledge. So as we come into the 21st century with Industry 4.0 and machines that are able to talk to us, we're able to collect more data than ever before. Over the last year, we've really taken a deep dive into our aluminum process. We needed to figure out and get a real life baseline for how much time really goes into our boats. All the data, all the time studies, very time consuming, and they all led us to the conclusion that brought us to these three key puzzle pieces. We needed more consistent parts, we needed them faster, and we needed to be able to reduce our scrap and raw material output. So those three things together, we brought in a new laser, Amada Ventus 3015 AJ. That is the only Amada Ventus laser in Indiana right now. So that is specifically designed for aluminum, and it is unbelievable. The edge quality that we get, the speed at which it cuts. Now you're cutting with a laser beam that's as thick as a human hair, right? So it allows us to nest parts closer together, ultimately saving us scrap. And in today's current manufacturing landscape, that's what keeps our prices stable. That's what allows our boats to continue to be affordable. At the end of the day, we just want to get out on the water and have a good time. The next piece of the puzzle is our Amada EGB 1303 ATC. A little bit of alphabet soup there, but the ATC stands for Automatic Tool Changer, which is an automated process. Basically, all of our parts can be programmed offline using our CAD models and then brought over to the CNC where an operator no longer has to be dependent on reading a print. With this machine in particular, we were up and running within 3 days of its installation. So that's putting an operator on this press, getting a good bend every single time, the very first time, at a bend rate that is 4 to 6 times our legacy output. And then a third component, which you don't get to see, there's no machine, but it's software. So we went from a static nest to dynamic nesting for our boat recipes. And what that's enabled us to do is basically reduce material usage by 20% and cutting our scrap rate in half. Now, those systems all together, they create this key puzzle piece. It's an audit system for our bill of materials, it's an audit system for our inventory, and it's an audit system for all of our production information flow. So by cleaning up all that information flow, all those processes, and setting these rules in place to make all this equipment work, now we have a system that we can start to build off of. So that's really where we are in our next step of our process, which is Continuous Improvement Department has created a software that we call MIR. Now MIR is going to be our one-stop shop for all information flow. So this is a communication tool that links production and engineering. It's a communication tool that gives us visibility of every single part and every single component on the manufacturing floor in real time at any time. That's pretty important when you have 32 buildings, over 120 acres, and nearly 1 million square foot under roof. Here at Smokercraft, we've truly embraced AI and its capabilities. We use it as a daily tool to not replace but enhance the talents and capabilities of our employees. Case in point would be our MIR system. This would not have been capable with a group of engineers. You would have had to have a humongous team of software developers in order to get this done. Well, with just a few guys and an intimate understanding of the process, we can use AI's ability to code and to program while taking advantage of the process knowledge that the engineering level brings. Through these initiatives to take 120 years of tribal knowledge and legacy processes, it's through initiatives like these that are going to keep us around for the next 120 years.